And not only that, he can't make.
No.
Can't do anything.
A little bit.
A little bit.
He's a little bit.
But not
No.
not the way mom would.
No.
Either that or it would be.
Someone broke their arm. Could you come now? And it's a different story.
Yeah, or if I have to come there, you're not
Oh,
gonna like
definitely.
it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow.
So I had to make that decision, and it's been so much better.
Yeah, and so you're happy
Very happy.
doing that. What advice would you give to moms who are married, obviously more than one child, or just any amount of kids, and they want to make the transition to full-time entrepreneurship? Yeah, what advice would you give to them?
You need to start with the money talk. So whether that's with yourself or with your partner. My kids go to private school, and that is no
not
easy
cheap.
feat,
Right.
right? So
And the fees still have to be paid,
Correct.
whether we're in a pandemic or not.
correct. So you want to make sure that you have the financial stability to do so.
Yeah,
I can go without, so
for sure.
I don't need.
And we usually do that.
correct.
Yeah.
So there are things that we can do to maintain ourselves as
Yeah.
opposed to going out and getting your nails done, getting your hair done. But my kids are used to, dinner every night,
Mhm.
and they get pizza once every week, and
Mhm.
those kinds of things we want to maintain,
Yeah.
so they have a sense of stability.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have the money talk first.
Yeah.
The next thing is, I would encourage you to do it the right way. If you're going to transition,
Like not torch the bridge?
No, I didn't torch it completely.
Yeah.
I think at any point they're going to be disappointed that you want to sever ties, and not everyone is for you doing things for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of look at you and they think, she'll be back.
Yeah.
But if you prepare yourself, you have the money talk, you do it the right way, and then you kind of look ahead, get those clients in order,
Mm-hmm.
kind of get the orders together beforehand.
Yeah.
I think you'll have an easier transition.
Yeah. And time management, right?
And that looks
Because-
different for everyone.
Yeah. Because now you're at the point where now you're at the point where you can work simultaneously while your kids are working. Dad drops off the toddler, and so during that time you have that because you love to sleep.
Right.
And I ain't staying up too late because the next day is there, and I have to be present for that as well.
Correct.
So time management.
Correct.
Yeah. What's been your biggest takeaway from parenting so far?
I don't think there's such a thing as perfection. Every child has taught me something different.
Mm-hmm.
And Lily has just literally thrown everything.
That's such a pretty name.
She's Lily Rose.
Mm-hmm.
She's thrown everything that I thought I knew about motherhood
Out the window?
out the window. There's no such thing as perfection. So I think my biggest takeaway is to give myself grace.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a learning experience, and it's a journey for both you and your child.
Yeah.
And each one of them teaches me that at a different stage.
So what's interesting with the number of kids that you have, do you find that you have to spend time with each of them individually?
I try to make time,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think time presents itself as well.
Yeah.
So whether it's my son choosing his options for high school because he's
Mhm.
going into 10th grade next year,
Mm-hmm.
or my 10-year-old, he's going to be a prefect next year. So we
That's
have
important
that
to him.
Correct.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we celebrate him.
Yeah.
Lily always gets the individual time because she's the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kai is kind of always talkative, so he tells you when he needs
Yeah.
that additional time. So
Okay.
you have to be intentional.
Wow. Awesome. All right. And I guess my last question for you is, how do you find me time with all that's going on? Because it's a lot going on. How do you find me time?
Would you believe that I got in my car 2 nights ago
Uh-huh.
and I drove around for 3 hours? I went to McDonald's.
On this little island?
On this little island.
Okay,
I parked.
tell me what you did.
I parked
Yeah.
on Porterski Dock.
Mhm.
It looked for a little while. Then I went to McDonald's.
Mhm.
I had some fries and a McFlurry.
Mm-hmm.
I read a little bit until my phone died. And yeah, sometimes I do that. Sometimes I take myself to lunch in the middle of the day. Just leave them doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
I like to do, nails if I can, or hair if I can. But those things tend to seem like a chore now. So,
Do you think while you're there, do you sit and think like, what else could I be
correct.
doing while
Because I'm there multitasking. So I have
Yeah.
to intentionally tell myself,
like
put
just
it down,
put the phone down.
relax.
Yeah. and
then
enjoy it.
catching up with my girlfriends.
Yeah,
I still make time for that.
that's amazing. That's good, especially the French fries.
With the McFlurry, you have to put it in the Oreo.
The French fries?
I told you this body is two babies. I can't. I need to look like that.
I mean, I eat fries too, but
With the
McFlurry?
You have to have it with the McFlurry.
Y'all,
You have to have it.
everybody's
You're welcome.
laughing.
You're welcome. I just put you on. You're welcome. Do it this weekend and then tell me about it.
Wow. Anyway, okay. This has been great.
It has been great.
You have to come back.
Anytime. You let me know.
Thank you for joining us, guys. This is Lashanta Smith, the amazing, because I don't know how she does it. This is the amazing Lashanta Smith. So this video will be live, I want to say in June. This will be live in June. So join us on YouTube. I'm sure Lashanta is going to share this because that's what she does. She's a digital, I want to say digital business coach.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
So I do digital marketing and I'm a digital media coach.
So just gonna be shared. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Thank you, Lashanta.
My
It was
pleasure.
great having you. Take care.
You have to do it.
Hey guys, you made it to the end of our video. If you'd like to reach out, email us at letschat@TanyaWilliamsLightbourne.com. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more exciting sessions. Cheers.
I'm here at the Dixon Hill Lighthouse in San Salvador to let you know that marine protected areas make dollars and cents. A well-designed and managed network of protected areas can generate income for nearby communities. From MPA managers to lodges to eco-tours, there is money to be made.
Healthy marine ecosystems help to protect our islands from climate change and other impacts that we cannot control. Healthy coral reefs help to break down big waves, and mangroves absorb storm surge and help to protect our coastline.
Older and larger fish tend to carry more and healthier eggs than younger fish. Fish replenishment areas will allow fish to grow bigger and ensure that we have more fish now and in the future.
In our replenishment area, fish are free to grow and reproduce. As their populations increase, more fish will spill over into other areas where fishermen can increase their catch and their income.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island, and you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
See the future with Bahama Protected.
Protected.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the rebranded Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line has delayed its inaugural trip to Grand Bahama. Also, another partnership forged in the tourism sector. And local bakeries preparing for the peak Easter season. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamila Mystic. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news, Margaritaville, formerly the Grand Classica, operated by Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line, has delayed its inaugural trip to Grand Bahama. The inaugural sailing of the rebranded flagship Margaritaville Bahamas is now scheduled to debut on May 14th. Officials say global supply chain challenges are to blame. The cruise line's chief executive officer, O'Neill Kosha, says the delay is in an effort to ensure the very best onboard experience. The vessel was expected to leave the port of Palm Beach on April 30th for Freeport, but that is now delayed by 2 weeks. Kosha also noting that they had already received full bookings for the first 2 sailings. No word yet on how this delay will impact future bookings. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Tourism on Grants Bahama catering to the cruise passengers tourism market. The ministry, in partnership with Maxie's Bahama Beach Bar and Grill, hosting a number of passengers today who had the chance to enjoy food and entertainment at the beach club before returning to the ship. Tourism officials say partnerships like these are important to ensure that cruise passengers have the best experience when visiting the island. General Manager at the Ministry of Tourism Office on Grants Bahama, Stephen Johnson, expressing excitement that tourism on Grants Bahama is making a comeback. A number of Carnival Cruise Line passengers getting an opportunity to enjoy sun, sand, and sea at Maxie's Bahama Beach Bar and Grill. Johnson noting that the ministry's job is to get visitors off of the cruise ships and into the community in order to boost the tourism economy here on the island.
It's really enlightening to see all the people out here on the beach having a good time, eating, drinking, and just enjoying the whole environment of Grand Bahama. And this is what it's all about. When our people are happy, things are going on. And we're just so happy. He has a lot of things going on with theme events throughout Grand Bahama. And we're just going to continue to support all of our establishments and vendors on Grand Bahama Island to make things happen.
Johnson adding that partnerships with cruise lines enhances the experience for cruise passengers.
It impacts it significantly. You know, I mean, they've called on him. I mean, some days, some weeks, some days he's got like 200 people coming out. And that's a good thing. You know, again, it's activities. Some of the cruise ships are saying they want more activities for their clients. And he's providing entertainment and all the other stuff, food, drinks, whatever, for them. And so we're really happy of the business that is coming in. We want to get more, but it's a good start for us.
Owner of Maxie's Beach Bar and Grill, Maxwell Curry, says his business has been operating in Grants Bahama for the past 5 years, adding that he's looking to help build the tourism product here on the island in hopes of a major rebound. He says locals have also been supporting the business as well.
Now the people are starting to get comfortable a little bit more with, you know, the COVID, different protocols, and the weather also changing, going into like spring, summer, so time changing. So we have seen a lot of locals now also starting to come out and patronize the business here.
Carnival passenger Jill says she and her friend have been enjoying their experience on the island.
We have had the most amazing time, and this is our 3rd cruise this year. Like, best place we've been to yet.
Now, what would you tell persons about coming to the Bahamas?
It's the beach and the sand, right? The drinks, the good time, right? Like, yeah, we love it.
Now, Johnson says the Ministry of Tourism is also working to make the Smiths Point area another popular attraction for tourists.
Pirates Cove, they're doing it well, and we're just trying to find that balance for Smith Point, where we can make Smith Point, turn it into everyday business for activities. Has been a challenge, but we're working with the families out there to see how we can make that happen. And there's been sleepless nights putting it together, but we're going to find a way to bring some more economic stability out there every day for them.
Ecotourism is a growing sector in the tourism industry, and the mangroves represent an attractive ecotourism site and a sensitive ecosystem. Waterkeepers Bahamas is conducting training sessions for a mangrove restoration training at the Rand Nature Center. Mangrove Action Project, a U.S.-based nonprofit group, is collaborating with stakeholders at all levels to preserve, conserve, and restore the world's mangrove forest.
MAP runs these workshops around the world, and we're here to try and help improve the restoration outcomes that the project teams will get here. But we try and educate more broadly groups about mangroves, emphasizing conservation over restoration, and also why they should be educating donors as to what to expect on a restoration project, and other sort of aspects around mangroves.
We decided to form MAP as a way to try to help the local people. One of the fishermen we talked to in an interview I did at that time said to me, if there are no mangroves, the sea will have no meaning. It's like having a tree without roots, but the mangroves are the roots of the sea. When he said this, those words really affected me and my friend I was with at the time was helping. So we decided to form Mangrove Action Project back in 1992 to try to address the problem of mangrove forest loss, as well as the problems of the local fishermen. Some of the same problems we saw in Asia, for instance, in Thailand, we can see everywhere around the world. So in the Bahamas, there are many problems we've run into.
Executive Director at Waterkeepers Bahamas, Rashima Ingram, says the training sessions are critical here on Grants Bahama. Eustacia Jennings traveling from Nassau for the sessions.
The training, we hope, will build on other mangrove restoration or conservation projects. So we've been doing restoration in a particular way because we wanted to get out there, we wanted to do the numbers, we wanted to have kids involved, we wanted to have civic organizations involved, but we want to do it the right way. And we know that sometimes the high numbers, like the 1 million mangrove planted, may not necessarily be the best step. So we want to be able to give everybody the opportunity to be a part of this education.
It's very important for the preservation and restoring the environment after Dorian. In my consulting firm, we do a lot of environmental impact assessments, we do environmental management plans, and we help with Green Climate Fund proposals for projects such as these. And so getting the inside look as how this is actually done, learning the ecology and the science behind mangrove protection and restoration is very important. And I'm already enjoying it.
Now it is a 4-day training, and Ingram says they are focused on the area of Dover Sound for the restoration of the mangroves. In other news, this is Holy Week, and residents of Grants Bahama are hoping to secure their supply of fish and hot cross buns for the Good Friday meal. But what impact is the rising cost of fuel having on local bakeries and the cost of bread this Easter? Well, our Aja Quant went in search of answers.
Bakers around the island speaking with our ZNS News team today, weighing in on the cost on supplies and fuel. Now, while they say that the costs are high for them, they're trying to keep their products low for Grand Bahamians.
With the high price in the fuel costs and the war and stuff, we seeing, it's outrageous.
Well, it's like a Texas Chain and Chucky movie right now. It's a horror with the prices of the products, flour and shortening. The sugar ain't too bad, but the shortening, yeast, and flour.
The rise in fuel and supplies, I haven't increased yet because I'm feeling for the people. But after Easter, I have no other choice, especially for the high rise in flour.
I think the government should have should be a regulator, where these people just can't raise prices and then you have to live with it. I mean, everybody don't make a decent salary. People got trouble going to the grocery store right now buying just a meal.
Now, some bakers say they do suspect price gouging as they've seen a significant increase in the prices.
$28 and change. By Wednesday, the flour was $64, $68, or somewhere close to that. I know it's over $64. Okay, for a 50-pound bag of flour, yes. They call back and say drop it down to $50-something, 56 or 58, somewhere around there. Which means we going from paying more than double for, okay? We used to get beef, when we first started, we used to get beef for $19 for 10 pounds. They're going up to 23, going up to 25. Okay, now it's up to $42.
Shortening went from $69 in December to $80 in January to $136 today. That's ridiculous. Flour, the P&A flour went from $19.50 in January. February went to $23.50, then to $25. Now it's $35. Same flour. The 50-pound Cheney Brothers and the Tiger flour went from 70-something cents to today, just from January, and today it's 61 plus. VAT is not included.
If you're going to rise the price, rise it at a say decent raise, you know. Going from like $1 to $5 or $6, that's ridiculous. If you rise it, you're going to go 50 cents or something like that, then people could understand. But the way that how they rising right now, it's ridiculous.
Now the bakers are calling on government officials to address the issue of price gouging, and our ZNS News team reached out to the Consumer Welfare Unit for a report. They said they would give one at a later time. I'm Adra Quant, ZNS Network News.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever, yes, whoever believes in him, they won't perish, but rather have everlasting life. Our God sent his Son Jesus. He came and he died. Yes, he bled. They spat on him. They called him all kinds of names. Hey, he went down on a Friday. But listen, beloved, he was risen on a Sunday. And so what I'm saying, that give us hope today, that even though we might have gone through all kinds of disappointment, heartaches, you name it. Some of you perhaps might have been down till you don't even know when you or if you'll even come up. But because Christ was risen, and because he has risen, we too can arise from any dead situation. I'm telling you, Christ is alive. We don't serve a dead God. He is risen, very much so indeed. And so from my heart to yours, what I'm saying is you can make it. And so let this season be one of joy and one of hope, that because Christ, Jesus, went down, hey, we'll go down, but he rose. And I'm telling you, you shall arise from your dead situation. God bless you and enjoy, and know that you serve a risen Savior who is interceding for us even right now. God bless you.
Come on down to Dolly Madison Home Center's Easter Week Lawn and Garden Department Sale, going on from April 11th to 16th. Deals galore. Don't miss it.
Come on down now. Star General's Cash Protector Plan pays a lump sum of cash on the occurrence of a first diagnosis of cancer, heart attack, and various illnesses. Purchase cash amounts from $5,000 to $50,000.
Hi, I'm Wes. I'd like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I would like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Let us put shoes on your feet.
Visit Dollar Deals today for your Easter baskets, candies, toys, and so much more. We're located at number 2 Old Sam Plaza.
Alive's back with a deal just in time for the Easter holidays. Switch to Alive and get a TCL 20 SE for only $129 with the Freedom Plan included. For a limited time, April 13th and 14th, Alive has the TCL 20 SE, known for its expansive 6.82-inch display screen, its dual stereo speakers, and its reverse charging battery for a steal of a deal. New customers can purchase the TCL 20 SE for only $239. Existing customers $159, and when you switch to Alive, only $129 with the Freedom Plan included. Get the TCL 20 SE at any Alive van or store location while supplies last. We are game changers. We are Alive.
Sports 360 is coming to you this Thursday from the Grand Bahama Sports Complex in the nation's second city. Hear from athletes and coaches from Grand Bahama that will be representing the Bahamas at the 2022 Costa Track and Field Championship scheduled to take place in Kingston, Jamaica, April 16th to the 18th. So tune in. 14th at 6 p.m. on your favorite television network.
Breaking news as it happens in the palm of your hands. Download the ZNS app and keep up with your favorite radio stations, breaking news articles, and live coverage wherever you are. The ZNS app, available in the Android and iOS store.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union are the official bargaining agents for the teachers in Grand Bahama, Bimini, and the Keys, and will represent educators in union matters. Sandra Major, educator at Martin Primary School, is the president. She notes that after being a member of the Bahamas Union of Teachers for some 40 years, she felt it was time for a change.
This is the first time that something like this has ever happened. We just started October 8th, 2020. We started our official membership drive in April of 2021. And as you see, it's just April now. And within a year, we have officially become the bargaining agent for us. So it's a great feat, and it's a lot, but we're willing to do something different. We want to change the way unionism look in this country, and we recognize that if we want to see change, then we must become the change that we want.
The Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union receiving the official letter of appointment on April 1st. Assistant Secretary General Rochelle Manchester says she's happy to be a part of the union.
I'm most pleased to be a part of one of the greatest unions who have made great achievements in just a year. I'm overwhelmed sometimes of what we've done for teachers in the Bahamas. Most recently, as the president spoke about, us becoming the bargaining agent for Grand Bahama, Bimini, and the Keys. A feat that no other union has done in just 1 year. And so I'm so pleased to be a part of such an excellent and great union with integrity, a union that is for the teachers, and a union where professionalism reigns.
The Falcons Boys Club and Champs Missions celebrating its 19th annual Boys Conference under the theme You Are Not Insignificant. The young men of Lewis Yard Primary School were guests at this year's meeting, which took place at the Champs Community Center. And as Ramiko Knowles tells us, it was pure excitement from start to finish.
It was an exciting day for a group of boys from Lewis Yard Primary School who were invited to attend the 19th annual Falcons Boys Club and Champs Mission Building Youth is Better Than Mending Men Conference. The young men receiving encouraging words from a host of speakers who reminded them of how important they are. There was singing, applauding, and many awards given to men and organizations who have assisted the Falcons Boys Club over the years. During the ceremony, President Darren Wohl also thanked the media for supporting.
And I want to say to the Grand Bahama Children's Home, to the Grand Bahama Port Authority, to the Ministry of Social Service and Urban Development, and all those organizations that continue to pour into this organization, thank you so much for taking care of the nation's young darlings, and the Falcons Boys Club want to present this to you this morning.
Reflecting on his time as a broadcast journalist, Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, the Honorable Obi Bolshcom, telling the young men that nothing is impossible for them to achieve. Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, Iram Lewis, echoing those words.
I got a job at 15 years old as a reporter, the youngest reporter ever in the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, because it's something I wanted to be. It's what you want to be which makes a difference. It's what you think of today, what you want to be. Do you want to be anything? Or you're just going to go to school and say, well, it's nothing important. There is something important about all of you here.
I came out of Lewis Yard, so connected with Lewis Yard and Waterkey. But I also went to the Olympic Games 2 times to represent the country. I'm in Parliament now and I sat in the cabinet. So like I did, so can you.
Leader of the opposition, the Honorable Michael Pintard, engaging with the youngsters through poems, admonishing them to be proud of who they are. The keynote speaker, Chief Executive Officer of BTC, Andre Foster, addressing the young men on the conference theme, You Are Not Insignificant.
Whether you're darker than 1,000 midnights or high yellow, whether Mummy is from the Bahamas or Daddy is from Haiti, or Jamaica, no matter the school that I attend, whether I have one parent or two parents in the home, no matter what anybody say negative or bad about me, God bless you, we love you.
I think the talent that you guys possess and the fact that you are in a world that is changing so quickly, you need to embrace every opportunity that comes your way. And I think it's programs like the Falcons Boys Club that, again, has an amazing history, comes from an amazing island, and it has a huge focus on building men in our country. I really do applaud you, Pastor Rowe, for that.
Senators Kirkland Russell and James Turner were among those bringing remarks to the young men.
I want to say to you that the biggest deceit by the counterfeit specialist, who is the devil, is that you, young men, are not a part of God's plan. But I want to tell you that that is the biggest lie ever told.
But I want you young men to know something. Very simply put, when you trust God, everything and anything is possible. Let me tell you something. Whether you want to be a fireman, a policeman, a politician, a doctor, a lawyer, a pilot, whatever you want to be, become the best. Yes. You are from the greatest little country in the entire world.
At the end of the conference, the students received brand new phones and were each given a basketball. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Ramiko. Now it's time for your Tuesday evening sports check with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. We have quite a few scores and updates in sports. Let's begin with soccer at the YMCA. Soccer at the YMCA is on the move. Director of Women's Football Development from the Bahamas Football Federation, Soraya Toppin-Herbert, was in town where she gave an assessment.
We've been hearing really good things about what Donnie and Mary have been doing with the program. So we're just here to see the girls play, see what kind of levels they're at. We're actually in the process of restarting our Center of Excellence, starting from U14 all the way up. So just here to see, what's on the island, because we do want it to be holistic Bahamas and not just New Providence. So as we go around all the other family islands, just checking to see who's out there so we don't leave anybody out. And then just also put programs in place to make sure that we continue to develop women's football, girls football from grassroots all the way up.
Toppin-Herbert adds that Grand Bahama has been producing a number of national team players in recent years.
As it relates to the girls that would have been in the national program before, the hope is that when they come back to Grand Bahama or any of the other family islands, that they're not kind of neglected and they're just doing their own thing, but everybody's kind of on the same program, whatever program it is that we put in place going forward.
Technical Director of the BFF, Bruce Swan, says soccer on Grand Bahama is evolving.
Now that we're out of the pandemic, sort of, what is going on and where we can step in to assist. So we would be meeting with the stakeholders so that we can get an assessment of that.
Switching gears now in baseball, scores from Week 5 of the League Baseball and coach pitch. The Red Sox edged out the Predators 11-10. The Lions also got the W versus Buccaneers Maroon 5-1. And the Predators defeated the Buccaneers Gray 9-2. Now in minor league action, the Lions took care of business against the Buccaneers 13-1. The Red Sox and the Lions game was a tie at 4 runs apiece. And Fortune 360 shut out the Buccaneers 10-0 to remain undefeated. In Major League action, the Lions and Fortune 360 with a tie, each team scoring 3 runs. And finally in Junior League action, Fortune 360 got the win against the Lions. Final score on that game was 9-4. And last but not least, girls basketball at the Bimini Youth Basketball League wrapped up its best-of-5 series. The Gateway Eagles girls won Game 5 to close out that series 3-2. Nevaeh Sanders of the Eagles was named MVP after leading Gateway to a 17-16 win in the 5th and deciding game. That's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Don't Don't miss the fabulous 25% off store-wide sale at Park and Shop downtown this April 13th, 14th, and 16th, excluding underwear and red tag items.
Welcome to Port in a Minute, an informative segment brought to you by the Grand Bahama Port Authority, where we update you on the latest news taking place within the Port Group of companies and our community.
Today, we are excited to announce that our licensing process is now fully digital. Our new online gateway, the Freeport Business Portal, allows entrepreneurs to apply for a business license, track the approval process, and receive free information about funding resources. It provides support for licensees searching for available locations, wanting to develop a business plan, and so much more. Existing licensees can get access to free training and ongoing assistance from our Small Business Bureau and can request information about upcoming initiatives to assist their business. Our portal is designed to ensure that all customers can have access to helpful resources 24/7. It is our commitment to do our part and enhance the ease of doing business in Freeport. Visit business.gbpa.com to see how we can help you.
That was Port in a Minute, brought to you by the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Be sure to tune in next time for more updates.
This Easter Sunday, enjoy limitless mimosas while you have brunch at Cocktails on the Bay in Port Lucaia. Brunch starts at 11 a.m. until 3, and it's only $35. That's Cocktails on the Bay, Port Lucaia.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Are you tired, overweight, having trouble sticking to your health and fitness goals? Well, look no further. The Fitness Connection has teamed up with Z&S to bring you Health Bites. This and every Thursday, tune in, and we'll make sure you get on track and stay on track with your health and fitness goals. Tune in.
#1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
If you are our Facebook friends of the day, we are grateful for your support. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire Z&S News team, I'm Jamila Mizik. Thank you so much for joining us. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
One of the biggest challenges I face as a teen mother is support throughout the community. Instead of the community trying to uplift teen mothers, they insist on bringing us down and trying to tear down our self-esteem. Becoming a teen mother helped me to realize that I need to be more responsible. It helps me to focus on my decisions because I need not to decide for myself anymore. I have to make decisions for me and my daughter. In my opinion, seeking health services was excellent for me. Honestly, my biggest support, other than the nurses, was my Grammy. The advice that I give to other teens out there is to stay focused on your education. Stay focused on your self-goals. Set goals for yourself.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the national report, NIB increases foreshadowed. Criticism surrounding new press guidelines highlighted in a human rights report. Additional resources on tap for the Department of Corrections. And tennis parents speak out. The Bahamas tonight, the national report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for tuning in. Your paycheck will soon be short a few more dollars as the government moves to protect the viability of the National Insurance Board. And while not a popular decision, it's one the man with cabinet responsibility says will help ensure Bahamians continue to benefit for decades to come. Cleopatra Murphy leads us off tonight.
National Insurance Board contributions are set to go up within a year, as the threat the fund could soon be depleted has increased. Minister of State with responsibility for NIB, the Honorable Miles Lorota, says Cabinet will make a decision in the wake of the 11th actuarial report of the International Labour Organization that projects the fund could be insolvent by 2028 if urgent action is not taken.
We have not voted on that yet, but a decision is being prepared, and I will not be surprised if that happens for the mere fact that we are in this unsustainable position.
That report suggests a biannual increase of 1.5% to 2%, so Lorota confirms Bahamians can expect several NIB increases. He contends the latest report also shows that the fund's depletion has accelerated.
The 10th actuarial report stated that if corrective measures were not taken urgently, that it would have been depleted in 2029. And so between the 10th and the 11th, the process was expedited by a year.
The fund currently stands at around $1.6 billion, but the problem is that benefit payouts far outpace contributions.
In the 80s, I think the contribution was around $12 million a year, the benefits. Now, the benefit payouts are north of $100 million a year. That's just not sustainable.
The Minister administration, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, funded an unemployment assistance program that totals some $263 million up to June, while the Davis administration in December doled out $6.5 million in $500 lump sums to those still receiving unemployment. Lorota says NIB's issues precede those, as it has been operating at a deficit for the past 6 years.
So this predated COVID. This can was kicked down the road too many times. From the fund was established, there has been one rate increase, and that was in 2010, from 8.8% to 9.8%. And you take all of what has been going on, we are where we are.
As for the increase, Lorota says government has tough decisions to make, but is prepared to make them.
We are talking about tens of thousands of NIB individuals who have contributed, some of them for decades. It would be a shame for those who would have paid in not to be able to receive their benefits at their time.
The rate increase that government settles on has yet to be determined, but Lorota says a decision will come soon. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, the government's moving to stave off the possibility of strike action as threatened by petroleum dealers. As Cleopatra Murphy tells us again, the Economic Affairs Minister maintains one thing that's definitely off the table.
Minister of Economic Affairs Senator the Honorable Michael Alkitis on Tuesday dismissed the possibility of a profit margin increase for local petroleum dealers, instead suggesting it would be too much for motorists already contending with escalating fuel costs.
It's a very volatile business to be in, and we understand that. But I can say that in this environment, we can look at the whole picture, but to seek to increase margins that would only lead to higher prices at the pump for Bahamians, I think that's, I can safely say that's a non-starter at this time.
His comments come on the heels of Vice President of the Bahamas Petroleum Dealers Association, Vasco Bastian, charging that 90% of his membership is prepared to strike as they continue to lose money due to the increase in oil prices, coupled with rising operational costs. Bastian accused government of benefiting most from the increase due to the Russia-Ukraine war, adding that while fuel on the island island has surpassed $6 at all 3 fuel franchises, petroleum operators continue to receive only 54 cents per gallon of gas sold, and this while government collects nearly $2. To that, the minister said this.
The government is not benefiting from the cost of the increase in the cost of fuel because the government has a fixed tax on gasoline. For diesel, it's a combination of a fixed and what they call an ad valorem, which means it fluctuates. But for gasoline, which most individuals consume, the government's tax is fixed, and so whether the price goes up or down, the government's tax remains the same.
As for warding off a strike, Halkidis says government received a letter from the association outlining its challenges, all impacting operational costs, and requesting government to re-examine the regime the industry operates under. He says it contained no strike threat. Nonetheless, government, he says, is prepared to meet with them to see how it can provide relief.
Some of the issues that have been plaguing them are the very high costs to rent their premises, the fact that the companies that control the premises also take off a sum of the convenience store sales, the seesaw sales off of the top, and they also, some of them have to pay what is known as franchise fees, and so they have a very, very high cost structure.
As for Bastian's suggestion about reducing pump assistance and electing for more self-service pumps, Halkidis says that's not for the government to decide.
Like, we can't mandate that they must offer a particular service. I think they have that has been aired as a possible, remedy for some of their increased costs.
He says government is set to meet with the association on Wednesday afternoon. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Well, a threatened rise in gas prices, not the only thing Bahamians need to be worried about. A possible hike in cooking gas looms, as Desmond Saunders explains.
Now, many Bahamians are on edge over the looming spike in propane fuel, particularly as scores prepare to heat up the grill this weekend for traditional Easter meals.
I bought 2 tanks of gas to take the full, to take on the bridge on Good Friday to feed the helpless. Good for me for when I'm ready to cook. So these can last me for a little while. My outside fire do well for me, because the price of gas going up.
Resident Trevor Miller keeping his fingers crossed that the local price of propane won't follow all the talk of a fuel price increase. But according to Allen Gas manager Winston Gomez, the reality is a hike in cooking gas prices is inevitable, considering inflation and the added global impact the Russian-led war on Ukraine.
We're trying to get an increase now as we speak, because it's really, right now we operating at a loss right now because of the prices. How we snagged in, and because of the pandemic and all of that, we wasn't able to really carry the cost over the customers, you see. So we're trying to get a increase now, so to help us a little bit. A 20 pound will be like $19. A 30 pound or $28.13. 100 pound $94. Ball tank, the 200 pound is $187. The 400 is $393.
A representative for Country Gas also talks of a jump in prices, reasoning that his Gladstone Road business can withstand the rippling global challenges if the industry is better regulated.
I have a lot of trucks out there selling propane. Okay, peddlers, if you want to call them that. Okay, I don't know if they're legit or if they're legal or illegal, right? But I can only speak for Country Gas. Country Gas is licensed by the Bahamas government.
Desmond Saunders, ZNS Network News.
Well, head of the Economic Development Committee, Hubert Edwards, believes it's crucial the country embraces the lessons learned from rising inflation and the ongoing pandemic, and this in order to implement long-term plans to better navigate any future shocks to the local economy.
So we've been through a pandemic, and the pandemic hit us in a particular way. We are now going through a high inflationary environment, and it is hitting us in a particular way. We need to step back and ask ourselves, you could not stop it, but what could we have done 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, such that the impact would have been different? And because we can't change it, we now have to look to the future. What are the reforms which are needed? How do we need to adjust the affairs of the country? What type of a policy position does the government need to put into place to implement and do so quickly and consistently, such that when we get another hit, because they're coming, when we have another external shock, the country is in a stronger position to absorb it.
The financial expert is certain the global community is feeling the impact of Russia's war on the Ukraine.
Both countries together, I think, is responsible for about 30% or so of the grain exports. So everything that goes into wheat and flour and that sort of thing emanates from those two countries. And you can understand the ubiquitousness of those inputs, to make bread, to make cookies, to make a multiplicity of items. So when you pull that out of the supply chain, when you pull that out of the normal commerce, global commerce, then obviously it's going to have an impact. Russia is a significant player in the oil and gas space. And so the crisis in Russia is putting a damper on the supply.
All coming up, correctional officers receive words of advice from the Prime Minister, and a teen girl is missing. We'll be back after the break.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this process.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
What makes an icon? Is it 80 years in the business? Or inventing a recipe that changes the way we enjoy chicken around the world? No. What makes an icon are the fans. Order KFC and take home a true mealtime icon.
As a professional graphic artist, I work from anywhere in the world. When I travel, I try to keep up with my paperwork and bills as much as possible, utilizing NIB's ESS, or Employee Self-Service Portal, to submit my monthly payments and to upload my contribution statement makes life easier. The portal is pretty easy to use too. I consider it to be user-friendly. It asks all the necessary questions to guide me through uploading my contribution statement, and I like that it calculates my payments. The NIB representative who showed me how to use the portal, she was patient, friendly, and knowledgeable. I used to fill out my contribution statement manually and visit an NIB office every month to make payments. But now the ESS portal allows for the entire process to be completed online in a time-efficient manner. Like, yay, thank you, that's done. You should sign up today at ess@nib-bahamas.com.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Hello, Nassau, Bahamas. God bless you all. I am so excited. I am Bishop Paul S. Morton, and I am on my way to Nassau, Bahamas. Come out and join me on Friday, April the 15th. Oh my God, I know the anointing is going to flow at 7 p.m. at Southland Cathedral for the Resurrection Celebration Services with our host, Pastor Devard Francis. Don't miss this great move of God. I'll see you there.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
The United States 2021 Human Rights Report is in, and as customary, it seeks to identify human rights challenges in every country over the past year. In the case of the Bahamas, the report cites that significant human rights issues included credible reports of degrading treatment of prisoners at the hands of prison officers. It also found that conditions at the Bahamas Department of Corrections were harsh due to overcrowding, poor sanitation, and inadequate access to medical care in the man's maximum security block designed to accommodate 1,000 inmates. Still, it was chronically overcrowded. The report also pointed to how COVID-19 played a role in operations at the Corrections Department, noting that in the face of authorities suspending the ability of family members to bring meals to prisoners and limiting food sales by independent vendors, prisoners reported infrequent access to nutritious meals and long delays between daily meals. Also making the report, the investigation into former Corrections Commissioner Charles Murphy's management of the Foxhill facility. Murphy was placed on leave October 1st following allegations of poor management, the unapproved release of a prisoner, and gross negligence. Further cited, the criticism surrounding new press guidelines from the Office of the Prime Minister. We'll have more on the report in a later newscast. Well, transformative changes in the pipeline for the Department of Corrections. Senior officers learning more about these planned upgrades from Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis during his address this morning to a one-day seminar at Faith United Baptist Church. Carla Palmer has the story.
The numbers fluctuate daily, but there are reportedly just over 1,400 convicted persons calling the Bahamas Department of Corrections home. Already deprived of their civil liberties and fundamental rights of freedom, correctional officers were today reminded of their role as caretakers and wardens of the state to still execute their duties within the confines of the law. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis also charged the officers to always serve with integrity and accountability.
Your job is not to punish them further. Instead, your job is to ensure that once they are held securely, their time here is well spent. You, therefore, have an opportunity to have mentored someone along a better path. You can inspire someone to greatness. You can model a kind of decency, compassion, discipline, and skill which can change someone's life for the better, forever.
Agents of positive change is what Prime Minister Davis is empowering correctional officers to become as they take on a new mandate to reset, restore, and recalibrate. The nation's chief reminding them of the overall objective to reduce recidivism.
When we have more people who are better able to contribute to the wider community, the evidence is clear. The level of crime goes down as we have less repeat offending.
In addition to being their brother's keeper, the Prime Minister also called on prison officers to lead by example.
I understand that some among you are still tempted to facilitate the prohibited use of cell phones and continue to collude in the smuggling and use of illegal drugs within the institution. And my administration's policy is hold any lawbreakers among you to the highest account and prosecute it to the full extent of the law.
In addition to improving skills training, Prime Minister Davis also committed the government's efforts to provide more resources for the correctional facility.
Plans are already underway to improve your working conditions and the surroundings of this institution. Soon, we'll also be hiring 100 men and women to reduce the burden of the workload on each of you.
The one-day seminar is reportedly the first of several scheduled for the Department of Corrections. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
Well, BDOC's overcrowding problem also soon to be resolved. Here's our Carla Palmer again with the details of a new and modern facility to be constructed.
Overcrowding has long plagued the Department of Corrections, but soon that problem will be rectified. As Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis announced that the government is embarking on a new initiative to enhance the environment at the Bahamas Department of Corrections.
Our government is working on plans to build a new high-medium security prison to reduce the overcrowding in the inmate population.
National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Mangrove, confirms a new high-medium prison facility is necessary for more than one reason.
The prison is the conditions that the officers working as well as the inmates are housed. It has been used as the basis for having sentences reduced, having findings that go contrary to keeping people in the prison.
Blueprinted is a 700-bed state-of-the-art facility.
There'll be steel fabricated, so there'll be no place to dig and hide contraband, no place to dig and hide phones. It'll be more controlled. It'll be modern so that you can have it surveilled by cameras.
Minister Munro says negotiations are now underway between his ministry, the Ministry of Finance, and a public-private partnership vendor.
Currently, I think it's projected to cost somewhere in the range of $40 to $45 million. That includes, of course, renewables, because the government has a policy of using renewable solar in the steel on the roof.
While the government is at liberty to employ prison labor, Minister Munro says a final decision is yet to be made.
This is still being used to do tasks. So, for instance, we are renovating the chaplain's residence, the commissioner's residence for use by the people from Corrections Canada for savings. I cannot say with regard to new prison whether that will contain a component of inmate labor or not.
While no details have been shared on the location of the new medium prison facility, construction will, however, begin at the end of this year to be completed in 2 years' time. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
Senior Justice Bernard Turner taking the oath of office today as Acting Chief Justice. Deputy to the Governor General, the Honorable Cynthia Pratt, presenting the instruments of appointment. Turner says he's elated to serve in this capacity.
Whenever you take on a constitutional office, no matter how short a period of time, and a high constitutional office such as Chief Justice, as Acting Chief Justice, if only briefly, you feel the weight of history sometimes on you at that moment of taking that oath. And I certainly felt that, as I did on the previous occasions that I have acted. I think this is the third time now.
Well, freedom short-lived for an alleged murderer. Police today confirming that Livingston Knowles of Ethel Street, Montel Heights, was arraigned in the magistrate's court for the April 7th killing of Lyndhurst Johnson on Ragged Island Street. Knowles was not required to enter a plea. He's been remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Also facing a magistrate, former Registrar of Contractors Omar Archer, who on Monday was formally charged with intentional libel. Police issued an all-points bulletin for his arrest on April 1st. Archer is accused of publishing false information about National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, on March 16th via WhatsApp. He denied the allegation, and the prosecutor objected to bail on the grounds that he has a matter of a similar nature pending. Archer returns to court tomorrow, April 13th, for a bail hearing. The family of 15-year-old Navia Andrews needs your help. The number 20 Hope Gardens resident was last seen at her home last Thursday, April 8th. Andrews stands 5 feet 4 inches, is dark-skinned and medium build. If you know the whereabouts of missing teen, Navia Andrews, call the Criminal Investigation Department at 502-9991 or 2, the Lutheran Division at 332-2111 or 332-2107-911 or download the P3 Tips app. The U.S. Coast Guard stopping a crowded Haitian sailboat 15 miles southeast of Anguilla Key off the Key Sal Bank around 8:45 a.m. yesterday. That based on reports coming out of WPLG Channel 10 in Miami. The Coast Guard reportedly notified the U.S. embassies of Nassau and Haiti, as well as the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. The incident coming on the heels of the Coast Guard repatriating 88 migrants to Haiti on Sunday. The 62 men and 26 women were discovered in a sinking ship on April 5th. And remember to tune in to the Morning Edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour, starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30, and the National Report live at 7 p.m., all right here on the ZNS Network.
We all know how good food makes us feel. It's like the feeling you get on Bay. And at Popeyes, we give you that feeling because we know how to make good food. Our food is the food of joy and the joy of being alive despite hard times. We don't do boring or bland. We are proud and big-hearted and love sharing with you, our fans. We take pride in sharing. We always do it with love. And that's the Popeyes difference that you can taste in every bite.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
At Bank of the Bahamas, we give you lots of reasons to love your life. We offer the lowest rates in the country on debt consolidation and consumer loans. And we help you save with our low-rate switch mortgages. Need a new car? Simply apply for a BOB auto loan and hit the road. And shopping is so easy with BOB credit and prepaid cards. It's time to live and laugh again. Love the life you live with BOB, your bank of solutions.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
April 2nd marks World Autism Awareness Day and kicked off World Autism Month. This special month is celebrated by wearing the color blue, which is meant to increase and understand the autism spectrum disorder, ASD, which appears to be one of the fastest growing development disability affecting BAME in children. 1 in every 68 children are affected, with boys being 4 times more likely.
Although a lot of research is being conducted on this disorder, there remains a lot that needs to be done. As parents of an autistic child, we recognize that ASD is definitely more about his abilities rather than any perceived disabilities. These kids are unique in every way, shape, and form. They have the ability to love more and to be loved more and bring people from all walks of life together to show love and support for this community.
KO Bahamas Business Solutions
And Alive supports World Autism Month.
The COVID-19 pandemic has certainly taken the world on a series of twists and turns, with all signs pointing to this trend continuing. That leaves us all then to learn to live with the virus, and as one local expert strongly suggests, that requires personal responsibility.
It's time to come to grips with it. From what the experts have deduced, COVID-19 is going to be a circulating respiratory virus for some time. But as Dr. Nakia Forbes, director of the National HIV/AIDS and Infectious Disease Program, sees it, 2 years in, we're in a much better place. Those of you who've closely monitored the virus's progression would agree there are more therapies, treatment options, and even prevention modalities. Add to that the fact that while recent cases have returned to double digits, they're far removed from where they used to be.
It's good that these newer strains like the Omicron strain and the BA2, which is a subvariant of Omicron, they appear to be less severe. More people are immune. And so what we're seeing is that less people are ending up in the hospital and dying. And what do we need to do? We need to remember that some people, especially people who have medical problems that make them more at risk and vulnerable, can still get COVID, end up in the hospital and die.
And that's exactly why Forbes believes attention should really be placed on hospitalizations. After all, the lower these figures, the more reason for optimism. Furthermore, as COVID immunity improves, the same could be said about the way it is handled.
It would no longer be an unknown virus that we have no natural immunity to. And so the course could be better. So immunity, it can either be achieved in two ways. You're either going to get the vaccine, or if you get COVID, you will have some degree of immunity. However, if you get COVID, you might also have a bad outcome. You might end up in the hospital. You may end up dying. Certainly getting a vaccine, it's very uncommon for there to be adverse things that happen after a vaccine.
Vaccinations have certainly aided in staving off added COVID cases to the point that there's been relaxations to protocols and restrictions.
You can see that with cases being low, that can allow for things to happen, for there to be more gatherings. It's good that we're getting very, very close to things being normal, and we can do that with numbers low and hospitalizations low and deaths low. Now, an important thing to note is that even in some locations where restrictions have been eased and cases are starting to go up again, they are discussing things like reintroducing certain recommendations like mask wearing in public. You'll see that is being called for again in places where COVID cases are rising. So we have to remember that this is a fluid situation.
That then means that all those recommendations and advice could very well change.
Well, meantime, 4 females and 2 males make up the 6 new COVID cases in country. Of that number, 3 of the newly infected are on New Providence, 2 on Abaco, and 1 on Eleuthera. For its part, hospitalizations continuing the steady decrease, with the latest figure at 7. All of the patients listed as moderately ill. As per data on the April 11th dashboard, there are 113 active cases, 3 new recoveries, and of the 91 RT-PCR test, just 1 was a repeat. Bahamians nationwide and abroad asked to submit short stories for publication in the country's first ever national anthology. Assistant Director of Culture Portia Sand says content must be cultural and include national identity and unity themes, among other criteria. It's all part of efforts to ensure more cultural material is available while including members of the literary community in the cultural conversation.
The material that we would like to be submitted must be unpublished. It must be original material. It must be culturally rich. And we're looking for short stories that has a readability level of about junior high school level. It should be about 1,500 word count. And the submissions should come in a Word format. All of the details are on the Division of Culture Affairs Bahamas Facebook page and on the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture's Facebook page. The link for the application form is there.
April 20th, the deadline for the free submissions. All short stories will be reviewed, and each contributor will receive financial compensation if their piece is selected. Authors will also have given the ministry the right to publish their work and give them credit.
The overall goal of this initiative is to bring exposure and promote cultural aspects in all sectors and areas as relates to culture. And, you know, again, we believe, again, that culture can bring economic opportunities to people. And so for that reason, that's why we intend to put compensating individuals for their efforts to show them that we appreciate what they've done and understand that who we are as a people. And we want to promote that and bring exposure to the skills and talents we have as Bahamians as it relates to culture.
Well, Holy Tuesday, Fake Tuesday, Great Tuesday, or how about the Tuesday before Easter? Whatever you're accustomed to calling it, it's the third day of Holy Week. Truth be told, depending on the denomination, this day may not be celebrated at all. But for those who do, like Eastern Orthodox churches, it's typically marked with readings of particular passages of scriptures and the singing of relevant hymns. Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
When you testify in court, you're expected to tell the truth. Same goes for your insurance application form. You have to answer every question truthfully and provide all the information requested, or you could be found guilty of misrepresentation. That means your insurance company could deny your policy or refuse to pay your claim. Your insurance company relies on the information you provide to determine whether to issue you a policy. Leaving out just one piece of information could lead to misrepresentation. So read your application form carefully. If you're unsure about anything, ask your insurance agent or broker before completing and signing your insurance application form. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
We elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate.
These are exciting times at all of our New Providence and Grand Bahama locations with the much anticipated rollout of the Samsung Galaxy S22 series. It features the Galaxy S22 Plus, the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and of course, the Galaxy S22. Now, these devices all come with incredible features, but in addition to that, we're pulling out all the stops to enhance our customers' shopping experience.
We have the S22, we have the S22 Plus, and the S22 Ultra. So what we've done today is to just make sure that we have a really nice setup. We have, you see, we have a musician playing the saxophone. We have some treats for our customers. So as you come in, we're making sure that your BTC experience is just fantastic. We're actually in Grand Bahama as well, and we will be rolling out to the other locations, including our family islands.
So we have some amazing postpaid plans. Our plans start at $44.99 and goes all the way up to $169.99. And on each plan, you get a discount on any device, or you get a free device per year once you sign up for postpaid. So once you port over, you also can get a free device, or if it's a higher device, such as the Samsung S22 that we're launching right now, you get a discount on that. You can get it as low as $499. That's a brand new device. Once you sign up for postpaid, $499. It's very, very low, very, very great device.
So here's what you can expect from the Samsung Galaxy S22 series. It is camera quality like you would not believe, amazing features, and a stunning display. So we'll see you when you get here. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pye from Be Well, and be back here next. BTC Connection.
We elevate.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Carnival Cruise Line officials providing Cat Islanders with an update on an upcoming project on that island. Here's what Area MP Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis shared.
Carnival has decided to expand their offerings on Half Moon Key. They're about to kick off with the development, and they have sought to engage the persons of Cat Island to work on that, which I'm happy for. They're going to be coming back here again to try to solidify and identify persons to go to work. And once it's finished, that opportunity will also be for Cat Islanders to be able to go there as well to work.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishla. Currently, we are under partly cloudy conditions with a temperature of 75 degrees. Your relative humidity at 64%. Easterly winds at 16 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,021.7 millibars, that's 30.14 inches. And the pressure is rising. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 75 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Atoll Key, and Marshall, Barbacoa. The Berry Islands at 78 degrees. Also, Allenstown, Bimini at 78 degrees. 77s in Harbor Island. Rock, Sandy, Lutra, Black Point, Exuma, 78 degrees. 78s in Camp Space at Andros and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. Allenstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rum Key, and Georgetown, Exuma, all at 78 degrees. More 78 showing up in Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, McWanda, 79, Ackland, 79, Matthew Town, Inagua, 81 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Island at 79 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. In the Northwestern Islands tonight through tomorrow, your winds are going to be east to southeast, speeds around 10 to 15 knots. Well, early in the day, it's going to be around 12 to 18 knots, but by afternoon, you could look at 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights initially 3 to 6 feet, subsiding 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And then your low tide, that will occur at 11:49 tonight, with a high tide at 5:59 tomorrow morning. In the central and southeastern islands, through Wednesday, easterly winds at 15 to 25 knots. Those rough seas will continue at 5 to 8 feet. Advisories remain in place for your boaters. And then on Thursday, in the northwestern islands, the winds become southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide, that will take place at 6:44 in the morning, with a low tide at 1:01 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands, we will finally see a reduction in those winds out of the east to southeast at 12 to 18 knots, so that advisory will be reduced to a caution flag, as the wave heights will be around 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
If you see me on the dance floor, man, and kind on wild, hey, scuttling, moving, raking, scraping, man, to this beat. Well, sliding, slipping, dipping, dancing all across the floor. Whining, bumping, jerking, Lord, I'm holding my head. Well,
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
music so sweet, it'll knock you off your feet.
To be the best, world-class athletes depend on a live to stay connected. We are committed to promoting Bahamian excellence locally and on an international stage. With hundreds of thousands of people depending on us, we must be a strong, fast, and flexible network. With speeds as fast as Joanna and plans as flexible as Donald, there's a plan suitable for everyone starting as low as $1 a day. With our Freedom Plan, Choose the way you want to be connected with a 1-day or 7-day Freedom Plan. With our 30-day Liberty plans, choose the right bundle of talk, text, and data. And for postpaid, we've got Liberty bundles loaded with talk, text, data, and even roaming included. Alive's hard-working network was built for hard-working people. No matter your goal, we have a plan that you can depend on. We are Alive.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Hello, Nassau, Bahamas. God bless you all. I am so excited. I am Bishop Paul S. Morton, and I am on my way to Nassau, Bahamas. Come out and join me on Friday, April the 15th. Oh my God, I know the anointing is going to flow at 7 p.m. at Southland Cathedral for the Resurrection Celebration Services with our host, Pastor Devard Francis. Don't miss this great move of God. I'll see you there.
When you testify in court, you're expected to tell the truth. Same goes for your insurance application form. You have to answer every question truthfully and provide all the information requested, or you could be found guilty of misrepresentation. That means your insurance company could deny your policy or refuse to pay your claim. Your insurance company relies on the information you provide to determine whether to issue you a policy. Leaving out just one piece of information could lead to misrepresentation. So read your application form carefully. If you're unsure about anything, ask your insurance agent or broker before completing and signing your insurance application form. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
April 2nd marks World Autism Awareness Day and kicked off World Autism Month. This special month is celebrated by wearing the color blue, which is meant to increase and understand the autism spectrum disorder, ASD, which appears to be one of the fastest growing development disability affecting Bahamian children. 1 in every 68 children are affected, with boys being 4 times more likely.
Although a lot of research is being conducted on this disorder, there remains a lot that needs to be done. As parents of an autistic child, we recognize that ASD is definitely more about his abilities rather than any perceived disabilities. These kids are unique in every way, shape, and form. They have the ability to love more and to be loved more and bring people from all walks of life together to show love and support for this community.
KO Bahamas Business Solutions
and Alive supports World Autism Month.
This segment of the news is presented by Sands, the truly Bahamian beer.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your sports on this Tuesday. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. The local tennis community at odds as tension among parents and coaches as well as officials of the BLTA continued to grow. This is last week family members of young tennis player Rachel Thompson voiced their displeasure of how the athlete was treated during a recent regional tournament, citing comments about her weight as well as a decision by the coach of the team not to play the young tennis ace. This incident proving only to be the tip of the iceberg, as several parents of other junior national team players speaking out about their concerns with the coaching staff as well as the Bahamas Lawn Tennis Association.
Overarching concern from the parents is the process of coach selection, particularly on these last 2 trips, the under-14 World Juniors team as well as the under-16 Junior Billie Jean Cup and Junior Davis Cup teams. The process has not been transparent. When parents have questioned the association about the rationale for their selection, we have not gotten clear answers. Most of the kids who have traveled on these teams are kids who have been traveling since they were 9 or 10 years old, so the parents know the process. We know what should happen. And that did not happen with selecting these coaches, so it just left us feeling unsettled.
For William McCartney, funding for the team's uniforms was also an issue.
Even getting uniforms, one of the parents actually went out and looked for sponsors for the kids. And so it's just disappointing that as parents, you know, we put all into it in terms of financial, and we put our time into it. And the kids, they actually put their time into it. You know, they are on the court 3 to 4 hours easy per day training, and they was excited to represent the Bahamas, but they was disappointed in the coach aspect. And like I said, as parents, we was trying to contact the president on it, and no communication with him.
San Antonio sports team reached out to BLTA President Perry Newton for comment on the matter, but he declined to comment, indicating a statement would come at a later date. The Bahamian influence of the University of Akron's basketball program set to get even stronger. After 3 years with the Ole Miss Rebels, Sammy Hunter has officially announced via social media that he will be continuing his collegiate basketball career at the University of Akron in Ohio. The Zips also feature fellow national team player Garvin Clark and are the reigning MAC champions. As a true freshman, he played in 27 games, primarily off the bench, averaging 12 minutes per game and 2 points for the Ole Miss Rebs. He scored a career-high 8 points in November against Western Michigan, finished with 7 points and a career-high 3 blocks in February in a win over Vanderbilt. Appearing in 25 contests off the bench this season, he averaged just under 2.3 points and 1.5 rebounds per game in 7.9 minutes of action. In more college basketball news, and what can be a sign of the wonders she's doing with player development at the collegiate level, they'll let Maxine McCoon front and center of the WNBA draft last night in New York City. Maxine McCoon was there to support her former star player Shakira Austin, would be taken 3rd overall by the Washington Mystics. When the Ole Miss center transferred from Powerhouse, Maryland 2 years ago, many questioned if it was the right decision. Now it's clear it was after becoming a top 3 pick. Coach O via social media saying, "What a night. Kira told us that she wanted to go top 3 when she first committed at Ole Miss. And I said, well, let's get to work. And she did just that." Adding, "Don't tell me about my God. With faith and work, all is possible." She concluded by saying Kira was her first lottery pick as a head coach and certainly won't be her last. Now, who's next? In baseball news, not to be outdone by fellow Bahamian Lucius Fox over the weekend, Miami Marlins second baseman Jazz Chisholm drove in his team's first run on a sacrifice fly and finished 1 for 3 in their 2-1 win over the San Francisco Giants on Saturday. Defensively, he went viral with a spectacular dive and catch to deny Giants outfielder Austin Slater a leadoff hit in the first inning. The exit velocity on Slater's line drive was 105 miles per hour, but Chisholm reached full extension midair to grab the out. Game 1 of the series, Chisholm homered and reached base 3 times in the Marlins' 6-5 loss on Friday. He finished 2 for 3. Now, Chisholm was not in the starting lineup for the Marlins' 2-1 win on Saturday and took to social media to express his frustration. Marlins manager Don Mattingly fielded a lineup which featured 8 right-handed hitters to face Giants left-hander Carlos Rodden. Chisholm telling the Miami Herald of his negative reaction to the lineup change, saying, "Donnie knows that I'm a guy that wants to be out there every day and wants to win." In less than 72 hours, the Bahamas' CARIFTA swim team will touch down in Bridgetown, Barbados for the 2022 CARIFTA Games. The man in charge of ensuring the team brings back its 6th first-place finish in 7 years is Giovanni McPhee, but he says he's not alone and will have a very well-rounded team.
We have a 36-member team with the 3 coaches, Coach Cameron Bruni, Coach Andy Lever out of Freeport, and myself. We are prepared to be there for these swimmers, anything they need, any help that they need, just to prepare them mentally to get through that 4 days of swimming. It's a long meet. When you get to the 3rd day, you kind of start to feel fatigue. So that's where our biggest challenges come in as coaches, just to get them mentally through the 1st day, through the 2nd day, and like I say, just take 1 race at a time, and hopefully at the end of the 4 days we'll come out champions.
McAfee adding that despite the year off due to the pandemic, he's kept a keen eye on the competition.
Yeah, like I said, we were actually one of the first countries to get our protocols together for swimming. Speaking to some of the, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, so a lot of their swimmers were out of the water a long, long time. So I think our swimmers have a little edge because our protocols were put in place so fast. I think that we were ready to go down. Obviously, we had a lot of swimmers who aged out and who did not get to swim their last CARIFTA. But we've still been following our competition online, watching what they're doing, watching what their younger swimmers, the new swimmers have been doing, who we haven't seen yet. But our swimmers look ready and we look good on paper. Hopefully we can, transition it into the pool and, like I say, bring home some hardware, some medals, and hopefully some CARIFTA records.
And that's when we look at sports on this Tuesday. A check on the weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
The COVID-19 pandemic isn't over yet. COVID-19 vaccines and boosters are now available at South Beach Clinic on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. On Wednesday at Flamingo Gardens Clinic, 1 to 5 p.m. Elizabeth Estates Clinic, 3 to 6 p.m. and Fleming Street from 4 to 6 p.m. And at the Mall at Marathon, Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Visit vax.gov.bs to book your appointment. Walk-ins are welcome. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness, PAHO, WHO, and USA.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, that area of high pressure across the Bahamas will slowly start to relax over the next couple of days, so we'll see a slight reduction in those winds moving forward. Our forecast for tonight calls for breezy this evening, otherwise partly cloudy conditions with a low temperature of 73 degrees. And tomorrow, it's going to be windy in the morning with some patchy clouds and sunshine as well. 82 degrees for your high temperature, but those winds will start dying down in the afternoon hours. Extended weather forecast, we can look for lots of sunshine in the forecast. As we said, a bit breezy in the morning, but that will die off. Showers developing on Thursday with some isolated thunderstorms, but on Friday, an upper level low will move across the Bahamas, and that will fire up some showers and thunderstorms on Friday. Looking at a wet Friday for us. And temperature-wise, it's going to get up into the mid-80s by Thursday, and that will hang around into the early part of next week, taking us through the weekend with a bit of spotty showers taking us into Saturday. Sunday looks a little better, and Monday even better still, with more sunshine as we head into the early part of next week. Make it slow.
Well, thank you, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Receive him, because it cannot see him or know him. But you know him, because he remains with you and is in you. When I go, you will not be left all alone. I will come back to you. In a little while, the world will see me no more. But you will see me. And because I live, you also will live. When that day comes, you will know that I am in my Father and that you are in me, just as I am in you. Those who accept my commandments and obey them are the ones who love me. My Father will love those who love me. I too will love them and reveal myself to them.
Judas